In this video, we will be unmasking a brutal killer. This is one of Sam and Twitch's darkest case yet, and this is not for the faint of heart. Alrighty then, this is a comic book breakdown of Sam and Twitch Case Files, issues number 1 through 8, the full story. This is a full story arc right here, brought to you by RatedComics. Now, before we get into the content, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. Also, timestamps will be in description if you wish to go from issue to issue. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Like and subscribe to Rated Comics YouTube channel for more content like this. But with all that being said, hey, let's get into the content. Now, for those that may or may not know anything about Sam and Twitch is an odd couple pairing with this greedy world of Spawn. Their contrasting personalities and approaches to detective work create compelling tension and often humorous fiction in this storytelling, alright? So as we admire the art and this eerie way of painting a picture of what's going on here, there's not a lot of caption here, so I'll break down who Sam is and who Twitch is very quickly. Sam is the brawn of the duo. He's large, physically imposing with a gruff demeanor, and he's very quick-tempered. Sam relies on old-fashioned police work to get things done. Twitch, on the other hand, is the brains of the operation. He's smaller and less physically intimidating, but a brilliant detective with great attention to detail. He doesn't miss anything. He's analytical and often relies on forensics. So their differences are a constant source of conflict. Sam's impulsiveness clashes with Twitch's meticulous nature, yet they have an underlying respect for one another, and their contrasting skills make them a formidable detective team. So this dynamic allows them to tackle cases from diverse angles, appealing to people for both classic detective stories and the darker supernatural elements of Spawn's universe. So now that we established that this guy, whatever he's running from, he goes into this abandoned house, and as he's huffing and puffing from all that running, this guy just tells him, "Did you follow the plan?" "Yeah, of course I did, bruh." "Then why are you running?" Well, he meets his fate and gets the bullet right there. So as the bullet dramatically falls down, this guy picks it up, and we're just left with whatever the heck we're left with, alright? So we see these two guys in this panel just talking about Mario Kart, how this guy in the red cap is just going to work on the people in Princess Peach and whooping Toad, and you know, he's doing all that. So we see this ring. Pay attention to that ring, because that ring is going to come important later. So they go into this deli or pizza shop or whatever the case may be. I think it's a little bit of both, because you got pizza and deli in the works right here. So this guy is like, "Man, nobody wants to mess with my Mario Kart skills." "Well, you got somebody who wants to see you, man. Tell that bro to go F himself." "Remember that ring?" Well, that ring puts his head on the table. So remember that big, physically imposing brute gold ring? Yeah, that's Sam right there. And Sam tells Diego's friend, the one in the green hat, "Yo, if you want some of the smoke, you better leave. Otherwise, Diego and I are gonna have a private chat. But if you don't want another smoke, you better get up out of here." So the guy in the green hat leaves, and Diego's like, "Man, you broke my nose. I don't care. Cry me a river." Here's the thing, Diego, and Sam is pissed. "We had a meeting this morning. Remember? You were going to point out some of those scumbags I've been hunting for, but that didn't happen. Did it? You know you broke my nose, alright? Here, clean yourself up. No sense in messing up the joint. Like you care, right? Because I don't care." I think this guy is like Sam's mole on a case that he's working on or something. That's the vibe I'm getting here. And Diego's like, "Look, man, I'm tired of being your little bitch whenever you call. I got a life too. That's not how it works, alright? Screw all that." So now the establishment, the owner of the business, goes up to Sam's like, "You know, I know you're NYPD, but this is a decent establishment." But Sam's like, "Yo, this is police business. Don't be trying me too, alright? You don't want this smoke." And this lady goes up to Sam's like, "You need water? Here's some water." And Sam tells Diego, "You know how long I've been working on this Pagliano case? It don't matter. I busted my butt trying to dent this operation, and keep your little butt away from him, alright? I promise your mother I'd do that much." And I'm starting to regret it. And Diego's like, "Man, just shut your stuff up, alright?" And Sam's like, "Okay, you can tell me to shut up, alright, but you're just too stupid to know what I'm doing for you. So if you want to throw your life away, be my guest. But you don't get to mess up my life, alright?" So Diego's like, "Yeah, but your life's already screwed up, so why are you testing me like that? Why you sweating me, alright?" And Sam's like, "Look, my life might be screwed up, but my cases aren't. You're not gonna put my cases in jeopardy. Next time you do what you did and not show up to one of my cases when I need you to point out some scumbags, I'm gonna break your arms." And so that's the end of that. So Sam goes and gets his face shaven. And in the middle of that, somebody opens the door, and the barber's like, "Ooh, okay, I'll get out the way." So a mysterious hand goes up and gives Sam a little nip. Sam was like, "Bernie, that's his barber. Watch it, will you?" And Twitch is like, haha, heard what happened today. The chief of police wants to see us. Twitch ain't having it. And usually Twitch has Sam's back in previous comics. So whenever Sam gets into some bull jive, Twitch has his back. So Sam, usually knowing that this is the pattern just repeating itself, Sam tells Twitch, don't worry about it. This will all blow over. I barely touched the kid. That little freak filed a complaint. Oh no, he didn't, says Twitch. His mama did. Sam, seriously, yo, this is too much, man. This ain't funny no more. Just get in the car. I'll take care of this. And you can tell the seriousness of this extreme when Sam looks at Twitch like, yo, you really giving me the silent treatment? It's been 20 minutes. You can't do that to me. So in the chief's office, the chief's just grilling him apart like, I don't understand why we got to do this over and over again. Burke, I warned you in the past. Don't know why you can't get this through your thick head. And then Twitch tries to cover it up once again like, yo, I know I went sideways. Sideways, says the chief. Don't hand me that crap. Not today. Let me guess, Twitch. You weren't even there to get your partner out of harm's way. You let your partner off the leash. Isn't that right, Sam? Sam was like not even giving a damn, like, yo man, I'm just doing my job. Man, that's a bull jive. That's not how things are done around here. You want to crack some heads? Be my guest. I know how that works, but not when it's the good guy. That kid was on your side. Confirmation that that kid was a mole for Sam or something like that. And the chief of police is like, and now that the mother filed a complaint, she's up my butt and I'm up your butts too. And Twitch is like, look, message received, we'll be on our way out. What? Nah. Twitch, you're cool, but Sam, am I boring you? You can tell Sam is not giving a damn about all this altercation, all this confrontation, all this that is happening. It's just the same old thing to him. Twitch is over it, but for some reason, Sam is just on a whole nother level, man. Chief was like, if I'm boring you, man, get the hell out of my office. You're suspended for a month. I don't want to see you anywhere near this place. You got that? And do yourself a favor and go get some help. And Twitch is like, damn, a month? That's kind of harsh. Sit down, Twitch. We're not finished. You're suspended too. What? Twitch is like, a WTF, and for what? Because he's your partner and you keep covering for him. It's why he's got such bad habits, because you keep telling him it's okay, but it's not. You both need to get that message. So you're taking the case away from us, says Twitch. Already, it's transferred. So go home, Twitch. Tell your wife the good news. Then decide if you want to be a good detective or a babysitter. I'll see you in a month. So Twitch walks through this pandemonium called NYPD with all that's happening. He goes into Sam's office. Maybe his office too. I don't see his desk around there, but I think it's there. So Sam, expecting the usual, tells Twitch, did you calm him down? No, Sam, I didn't. In fact, he suspended me too. Well, screw him, says Sam. Screw all of them. Let's pack up and grab a beer. No, says Twitch. What do you mean? No, what do you mean by that? I can't do this anymore. We've talked about this too many times, but you keep doing the same things over and over again, regardless of who it affects. Do you even care on any level, says Twitch? Come on now, says Sam. Give me a break. Why you busting my balls? I don't need this crap, all right? Especially from you. Where's my keys? And Twitch, being the one that's attentive to details, like, why you panicking over there, Sam? Your keys are in your pocket. Just look. And Sam was like, okay, well, that's cool. Twitch is like, hey, where you going? And Sam's like, man, screw you. I'm out this bitch. So Twitch's phone rings. He hangs it up and the voicemail is left. And as we see, we get this panel right here of all the case files, and Sam and Twitch are about to get a new case. But the voice message reads, hello, Max. That's Twitch's name, Maximilius Twitch. This is Jim Tressel from our police academy days. Anyway, I've been meaning to contact you and catch up with you because I've got a situation and I'm dealing with, and I know this is a long shot, but I could use a fresh pair of eyes on the case that I'm working in, and you're the only one I could think of that's smart enough to help me out, maybe even figure it out. So if you got a minute, give me a call. I like to run something by you because whatever this case is, like I said, they are very good detectives and they get there, man. But it's a mix of detective stories with the darker supernatural elements of Spawn's universe. And that is the end of Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue number 1, Murder in the Shadows. Yo, man, this is a heck of a way to introduce issue number 1. I'm in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in. If this is an ongoing series, which I believe it is, well then, by all means, keep tuning in for Sam and Twitch and some Spawn content, not to mention Gunslinger Spawn and the Scourge too. So if you watched the first video, we left off with Max getting a message from Jim Tressel, a friend of his from the police academy, about a case that he needs help solving. But before we get there, we have to go to Sam. Sam shows up to Twitch's house with a bottle of wine and apologizes to Twitch's wife Helen and just ask if Twitch is there. He brings flowers and a bottle of wine like he knows he messed up, but he's so all over the place that when he goes in the house, he looks for Sam first, not realizing that, hey, the wine and the flowers are for her. So Twitch is like, I knew I heard your voice, so what's up? And Helen, you can tell she's getting upset by this, and Twitch is like, don't worry, baby, he ain't gonna be long. So Sam is not even sure where to start with this apology. First, he's like, I know I messed up, I know you're mad at me, but we've been through a lot together. By the way, I bought you this book, War and Peace. You drove all this way just to bring me a book. Notice how Helen is drinking her glass of vino, kind of like in a way of getting more liquid courage, if you want to say that. So as Sam keeps pouring out his heart, Twitch is like, when is enough enough? You're off the hinges and you're affecting me and you're affecting my family. Well, then Sam's like, well, don't worry, man. I told the chief that this wasn't your fault, that he should lift your suspension. It's all my fault. Yeah, you apologize, but how long is it going to be until you do this thing again? I'm tired of stuff, you know what I mean? And Sam's like, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to fix all this. And Helen has had enough. That liquid courage turned into liquid outburst right now. Enough. Let me tell you what my husband's too scared to say. You see this, Sam? What you've done to my family? I've tolerated you for years, kept my mouth shut out of respect. But if you want to sabotage your career, do that. But don't sabotage my husband's career, all right? Now leave my husband out of it. Now take your damn wine and get the hell out of my house. What about the flowers he gave you too? You're not going to give that back? So Sam has to leave all pissed off. But meanwhile, we see Twitch go on this road trip to Plainfield, Indiana. Notice the population from what it was to what it is now, crossed off in red. So obviously Twitch and his wife Helen have an argument over it, but he has to leave to take this case, or whatever this case is. So Jim Tressel leaves Max another message, just wondering if he got my message from earlier. Are you gonna come? So what, Twitch is not calling him back, Twitch is not texting him back, he's just gonna show up unannounced, kind of like what Sam did, but this is a different thing though. So when he gets to the town, he notices that it's definitely not New York. It's cleaner, seems more peaceful, his guard can go down a little bit, but what is really going on here? So when he arrives at Plainfield, Indiana Police Headquarters, he's just like, why am I so nervous about this? Probably because when you're nervous before doing something, you're about to do something really courageous and bold. I don't know, that's just my personal experience and my personal opinion, but what do you guys think? So these two officers walk out the office and they're talking about Fred being a nutcase. Nothing related to the book, just two bros having a standard conversation. But this guy notices Twitch, puts his hand, or about to put his hand in his gat, like, hey yo buddy, can I help you with something? Yeah, says Twitch, I'm looking for Detective Tressel. Well, he's busy, but maybe I can help you with something. Oh, no. I'm Detective Williams. Jim reached out to me, so I thought I'd come here and see him in person. Wait a minute, you're his friend from New York, right? Yes. Oh my God. So now the greet from earlier, where it's kind of like my guard's up, turns to, hey, my guard is down, you're cool, you're part of one of the boys. We heard so much about you from you guys back in the academy, you know? And Twitch is like, I know I came unannounced, but is the bro busy or what? Don't worry, I'll make it a good time for him. It'll be a good time. Well, what do we have here? Jim Tressel comes out and he's like, wait a minute, your last text message said you'll think about it. What changed? Hey man, things change. That's all Twitch can say. So they bring it in, bro hug, bro shake, they small talk. How's the wife? How's the kids? How's life? Do you talk to anyone from the academy? No, not really. Same here. So glad you're here. We could have been great partners. Just catching up, you know? And what they both have in common now is they're both detectives. So Detective Tressel tells Mark, the guy from earlier when Twitch ran into him outside the police station, tells Mark that he's going to get Max a hotel room and tell the boys you guys can meet me at the Fairmont. Whatever that means. That sounds like a pretty good bar. I don't mind being at after 5 o'clock. What's going on with this case? Tell me about this case, says Twitch. It's multiple homicides, a potential serial killer. And I just noticing right now, there's this homeless guy that they keep passing by. First time Twitch passing by in the beginning, which I did not do a good job of highlighting, and now this is the second time. Keep that in mind. That's some potential foreshadowing right there. And even though Tressel's like, yo, this homicide might be something you're used to in New York, but I'm not, and me and my team are not used to this. So we can really use your help. And Twitch is like, any suspects? No. The labs are still doing their thing. Any victim IDs yet? DNA comes back tomorrow. We don't know. We've run missing persons in the state, haven't found any connections yet. Though I think we're pretty skilled here, says Detective Tressel. Having an outsider like you can be really of good help to us, all right? So keep your receipts. We'll reimburse your expense. Get settled into your hotel room. I'll pick you up tomorrow. They shake off. Twitch goes into his hotel room and checks in and just tells him, I'll see you in the morning. Don't forget your pancakes kind of thing, right? As of right now, I know this issue's starting off pretty boring, but come on now, what kind of secrets are you buried deep? This is a whole lot of foreplay before you get into some climactic action, if you get what I'm saying. So Detective Trestle gets in the car and his boys are like, how'd it go? Well, it went great, man. He's gonna be a big help for us. So now back to that homeless person. They pull over and Detective Trestle's like, hey man, I'm with the county police and unfortunately you can't be here. You know, special ordinances. But if you want, hop in, I'll give you a lift, I'll give you some $40, you can get yourself a warm meal. The homeless guy is like, nice town you got here. Yeah, thanks man, but where are you from? This guy says he's from Boston. He had a job in Fortville for a while, but the plant got shut down, so he's just doing his best to survive. And I think Detective Trestle's kind of sus about this guy, like, all right man, well sorry to hear that, so we'll drop you off here, best of luck to you, all right? So hours later, this guy's walking in the dark in this eerie field. This looks dark and gritty. A very friendly, super duper friendly vamp pulls up and is like, hey man, you need a ride, mister? Well, yes I do. Well, hop in the back. Where are you heading? I'm going to Indianapolis. Now, how far is that from Plainsville, Indiana? We don't know. And what's this guy up to? We don't know. But as the van drives off, we don't know what kind of secrets are buried deep until the next issue of Sam and Twitch, issue number 3. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. I know you probably feel like I did this review and nothing materialized other than just planting seeds. That's the thing, when you plant seeds you gotta water it, and eventually when you water it enough it's gonna grow, but we don't want no 3 or 4 more issues until we see that seed come to fruition. We want some action, and I'm sure we'll get that in issue number 3 as more things unfold. Previously in Sam and Twitch heads out of town to help an old academy buddy, Jim Trestle, on a very difficult and very confusing case. So in the coroner's office, they say they finish up their initial report by Thursday. That's what Twitch is asking Jim, but obviously see all these bodies, missing body parts, and parts that don't belong to a different body. It's just like looking at it is very demented, sinister, and it doesn't make any damn sense at all. So Twitch is like, okay, what's your protocol here as to who gets to read it first? So Twitch is like, okay, so the feds are gonna want to jump all over this. And Jim's like, they already called, so they're doing their own digging already. And Twitch is like, oh, they find any jurisdictional evidence, they'll come steamroll this. And from what I'm looking at, Jim, and they go to the cornfields, this mysterious cornfields are over here. Time isn't on your side. So they go to the cornfields because that's where the bodies were found. And Jim was like, we created this path to where the bodies were found to minimize disturbing the area. And Twitch is like, okay, so I assume you don't have any footprints yet, is that correct? Well, freaking rain last night, so we ain't got nothing. And Twitch is like, all right, man, that's a tough break. Yeah, tell me about it. But the thing is, says Jim, my team sent up a drone to get some aerial video, but nothing's jumping out at us. Seems like the bodies were dumped over a period of time since there's no obvious path the killer took. So Twitch is like, okay, so any clue as to how long this has been happening? Not really, says Jim. Until we can identify some victims, we don't know the period of time they've been missing. Any ideas why the killer chose a specific spot, says Twitch? Isolation probably. The road we came in on is usually used by a few farmers and their workers. The guy that owns his land has 2,000 acres of cornfields. So why here, says Twitch? We drove by dozens of other places that look just like this with no fresh blood found. None of this makes any sense. So Twitch is like, okay, I'd like to see a map of this area if you have one. Okay, I'll grab one when we get back to the office. No problem, says Jim. The other thing we're looking into is why this ground is so clean, like nothing wants to grow on it. Some soil samples have been sent to the labs. And Twitch is like, can I get a list when these fields are cultivated? Sure, what are you thinking? Not sure, just curious about the timelines, that's all, says Twitch. Okay, so Jim is like, we'll get you that info. So Twitch is like, so I need to speak with the coroner now. They go to the coroner's office and they thank Dr. Thompson for their time. So Twitch is like, look, I know you still need a few days to finish your initial report, but any useful information we can get now would allow us to do our job too. And Dr. Thompson's like, okay, so here's the thing. I'll share this with you right now. The killing of these 5 victims seem to be 4 to 5 months apart. There's a list of approximately when each victim died in that folder. So what about all the body parts, says Jim? Well, come on, let me show you. I've matched up, based on skin DNA, everything that was delivered to me. As you can see, the victims are far from complete. That body part don't match with that body part, and so does that body part don't match with that body part. Their missing anatomy seems to be random, no pattern. Best as I can discern, the only thing I found is there's a different traces of soil on a couple of them, which tells me, and Twitch already knows, they were killed in different places. And that's a high probability, says the coroner. The lab is running their DNA to see if we got any matches in their system. Jim was like, Twitch, you asked when the farmer was cultivating his crop. You think the killer knew that? You think the killer knew that the bodies would get found? Actually, he may have planned for them to be discovered, says Twitch. Look, he could have buried the bodies, but he didn't. He didn't care enough to hide them. Why? After all the trouble he went into cutting them up, then transported them to that location, why would he get lazy at the end? Unless he was sending some kind of message. Exactly. But what is the message? The message is the message that we don't know just yet. So Jim Tressel's buddies are like, hey Jim, I know you're busy, but we need a minute. And Jim's like, okay, that's fine. I need to get back to work, but thank you for, for doing your thing. Jim's buddies are like, hey man, that drug den we've been working on, a situation come up and we need you. And Jim's like, oh man. Sure, but did you put a list together of missing persons or what? Yeah, says the detectives. For the past 6 months, it's in a folder on my desk. Max is welcome to it. And Jim feels bad about this, but work is work, man. So he tells Twitch, sorry about this, man, but this is a case we had for months before finding those bodies. And as you can tell, we're kind of understaffed. And Twitch is like, it's all good, do your job. So Jim's like, let me get you set up first, unless you want to ride with us on this drug thing. Twitch is like, nah man, I'll pass. I'm gonna go do some work and get some food and go back to my hotel and get some things done. And then we get the first incoming call from Sam, and Twitch just hangs it up, and Jim's like, yo, you need to take that? Nah, I'm good, just spam, but I thought I blocked it. So there's a joke that the guys are like, hey man, Max, if you ever need any girls to keep you company, I know a few girls online that you really enjoy. And Jim's like, bro, don't be talking like that, come on now. I don't know, I'm just messing with you. The real players, the pros, live in Indianapolis. Ain't that the truth? Boys being boys. And Jim's like, man, guys, read the damn temperature. Twitch is happily married, right? So Jim apologizes about those guys just for acting like boys, But Twitch is like, man, don't worry about it, man. I'm from New York. We do that. So Sam Burt calls again, and Twitch has to decline. Let me guess, another spam call? Yeah, I hate when that happens, says Jim. Anyway, let me introduce you to Kimberly. She'll make sure to get you whatever you need. So Kim is over there doing her thing, and Jim asks Kim, could you please be an angel and make sure Detective Williams, Twitch, gets access to whatever he wants. He's helping us in the cornfield case. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm sad for him, but yeah, I'll get you whatever you need. And Jim is like, okay, baby girl, you need a raise anyway. I do. Stop being stingy. Even though he probably has nothing to do with it, but a girl's got to get paid, and guess what? We all got to get paid too. Speaking of get paid, if you like the content we're throwing up so far, you know what to do. Like and subscribe to this channel. So we get more backstory on the gold medal and what this town has been through, according to Jim. And yeah, that gold medal is the pride and joy of a ton of awards with the state that from all the cases that they solve. But they need to solve this case because otherwise it'll just ruin their reputation. That's what I'm getting from it. So Kim comes back with some files, and she's going to get some more files, and it's like, damn, she wasn't kidding. Yeah, this is a whole lot of files to go through that Relis was putting together. So Twitch comes across this photo. He's like, who is this? Oh yeah, that's Officer Lasky. Worked on our force, but recently moved away. And Jim's like, yo, this must be a new addition or something, because I'll have to ask Relis about this one. But in the meantime, I've ordered more drone surveillance on all surrounding fields near the body dump. If our killer was aware of when harvest season was, maybe he put the rest of the body parts in another field. Man, that could be true. So Twitch is over here looking at the files. He goes to the diner and looks over that file. Now he looks at the files, gets some missed calls from Sam, and now at least we see the timeline, but we see this mysterious lady looking at Twitch as he leaves, pays the bill, and dips out. Goes to the parking lot, calls his wife Helen, and tells Helen, hey baby, just hope you're doing good. Hopefully I'll be home soon. Give the kids a hug and a kiss for me. And I've been doing some thinking, so we should talk when I get back about New York, my job, all of it. I think Twitch is about to dip out on Sam because Sam is just going off the rails here. Anyways, talk to you soon. I love you. So mysterious lady from the diner knocks on Twitch's window, and Twitch is like, okay, can I help you? She's like, I hope so, because no one else seems to give a crap. I don't care what any of you say. I want to keep bugging you guys until I get answers. And Twitch is like, where are you getting at with all this? That's what you all say every time, says the young lady. I'm just so tired and bored of your bull jive. Why won't you do something? Who are you talking about, says Twitch. Police, I saw you in there at the station. They tell you to ignore me? Is that what they told you? Well, I'm over it. I don't give a damn. He wouldn't just leave and not tell me anything. And I don't give a damn if you think I'm drunk or out of my mind. I know what I know. And Twitch is like, okay, I'm sure you're not drunk and I'm sure you're not out of your mind. Just tell me what's going on. And she goes like this. Why won't they look for him? For God's sake, if they don't care about a fellow cop, who do they care about? Not me, and certainly not him. And he was the best boyfriend I ever had. And Twitch is like, okay, maybe I can help. What's his name? Bobby Lansky. Does that name ring a bell? It was from the file from earlier that Kimberly pulled out on behalf of Jim for Twitch. And Twitch is like, okay, I heard of him before. Did he move to Kentucky or something? That's a lie, she says. He hates Kentucky, and he hated this town too. It was eating him alive. Look, says Twitch, I promise first thing in the morning, I'll look into this. It'll be okay. So now we got another layer of mystery in this town. The cops can't figure out the cornfield, and the cops, are they potentially covering up the missing police officer Lansky? We don't know. And all she can say to Twitch is, before he goes into his hotel room, is, I miss him. You get that? And it won't be okay. Stop saying that. I'm not freaking okay, and neither is Bobby, so screw all of you. Well, that's another thing on Twitch's plate. Body parts in the cornfield, Sam bugging them, now another officer that's missing in the department that they think he moved to Kentucky, but he's actually missing. Something's trippy about this town. It seems all goody two-shoe until it's not. So now we end with these gloves getting put on, and we don't know who this killer is, and all he keeps saying is no good deed as he assembles something with hay and clothes. No good deed as he assembles something with hay and clothes. And we could only assume that those are the clothes of his dead victims, because he's saying no good deed goes unpunished. And that is the end of Sam and Twitch issue number 3, Case Files, 2024 version. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of the other Rated Comics exclusives, limited prints to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. So previously in Sam and Twitch are still on the outs. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, Twitch and his old pal Jim's investigation takes an unexpected twist, catching both detectives off guard. So we see this cornfield and this lady doing laundry, and the SWAT team or the police is just ready to come in and swoop in on this house. Now, what do we know about this house? Well, we're about to find out, but this text that we're seeing here is a voice message that Sam is leaving on Twitch, that he's pissed, he gets it, he misses him, call him back, what are you doing? Don't you care about me? I'm sorry, you know what I mean? So law enforcement kicks in the door, they go in, they see that somebody's in the house, and they just have to take him out, and they do take him out right then and there. Shoot first, ask questions later. So we see this elderly guy, and they're being told, his name is Wilbur, I believe, you building scarecrows again? I told you, them things don't work. And it's referencing the scarecrow, how Sam and Twitch Case Files issue number 3 ended. And then Wilbur's like, what you jabbering about, while he's in a very vulnerable position right now, which you know that feels good, especially when you do that at the top of the morning. Oh man, I love that. You do that before you go to work, even though it's paid company time to do it while you're at work. I prefer to do it before work, that way I feel so fresh and so clean. But anyways, back to the thing over here. So law enforcement goes down, they look in and see what's down in the basement. They see all this guns and cash, and they just have to confiscate it or whatever the case may be. So they have to grab the cash and they do the thing, but Sam is still leaving him a voicemail like, call me when you can, you know, maybe we can talk about things. And I know you out in the outdoors and all that, because remember in issue number 1, Sam and Twitch has had a falling out, and plus Sam tells her you ain't meant to be out there with all them rednecks. So Jim takes off his helmet, and you know, and this lady sees the scarecrow that this guy was talking about, the scarecrow that was left off in the last issue, which was pretty haunting. So one of Jim's partners comes down the stairs and tells him, the boys are waiting for your orders, Jim. And he puts back on his helmet and tells him, let's clean this mess up and then get the hell up out of here. But that scarecrow that the lady was seeing, as Sam concludes his message, is the elderly guy, or the homeless guy from issue number 2, when he goes into that van and his eye is missing, the crows are eating it, she screams, she has a panic attack, and that's all you can say is just, brother, you know? So in this panel right here at the hotel, or the motel, but no Holiday Inn, Twitch obviously sees Sam Bergsmith's call, but he brushes his teeth and he makes a phone call, and it's to his wife. She picks up the phone and Twitch is like, just calling to say hi, see how you're doing, want to hear your voice. I'm doing fine, says his wife. So are the kids. What about you? Well, I'm okay. Got a messy case over here that's kind of snowballing, so right now, don't know how long I'll be. Any guess? Asked his wife. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, give or take. Great, and what am I supposed to do, huh? I'm just supposed to wait until this thing ends? Until your case ends? No, says Twitch. What do you mean no? We've been through this many times, millions of times. You always chose family over your work. Helen, please, we talked about this. You told me to go because I could see you needed a clear head. And I'm getting tired, Max, exhausted of having Sam calling here every 2 minutes, or the kids asking me why you're always working. But most of all, I'm tired of constantly seeing my husband drive himself into the ground. For what? Just for what? Tell me what it's for. Is it worth it? And Twitch is like, look, I could walk away from this case. It's not that important. No, you can't. You're committed to it, says Helen. Do what you have to do, but don't worry about me. I'll get over this. I always do. And Twitch is like, okay, Helen, I miss you. I miss you too, but that's most of the problem, I think. I feel a distance between us. Been there for some time now, and I don't want it. I love you, just wish things could be better. I love you too, says Twitch. I wish I didn't always have to put you in this predicament. So they hang up, and Twitch is just there in his motel room. So Twitch has to go to the scene of the crime, the cornfield, and as news crews are there, he's talking to people there, getting the feel for what happened with the gunfire. Over this, Twitch is over here like, okay, he's recording on his little recording device, like husband being interviewed right now. He's pretty shook up. Now let's go check on the site. And he sees his buddy Jim. Jim is telling his partner like, hey, keep me abreast what you find here. Did you find any more drugs? Well, we just found a little bit more cash, but that's all. Well, give me an update in an hour, says Jim. Sorry, Max, says Jim. You know, we're scrambling here, not used to this much excitement. So they go to the scarecrow body and they're like, Jesus, man, this guy's working hard to get our attention. Any ID yet? No, says Twitch. But what about the farmer's wife, says Joe. Over here. Looks like she has suffered a heart attack when she found the scarecrow. So Joe is like, man, poor woman, she runs like a food bank or something. And did I say Joe? I meant Jim. So Twitch is like, that's a shame, man. I mean, why these fills? This isn't far from your first writings. Seems to be some kind of connection, don't you think? Agreed. Killer's trying to tell us something or what? And Twitch is like, And his new display? He's escalating his sportsmanship and showmanship. He's becoming more confident now, especially looking at all these body parts attaching himself like a Frankenstein style. He seems to be enjoying himself. So Jim is like, Coroner said he'll jump on this as soon as he's needed, but my concern is I'd rather not make this a freaking habit of collecting bodies. And Twitch is like, this town doesn't deserve this. Those birds, they usually fly as a flock, no? What are you saying? Those birds? You mean the crows, says Jim? No, not really, they're just crows. Why? I think there's more out here. So Twitch walks over and he's like, call your men. So he goes on his recording device and he's like, it's a similar field pattern at Detective Tressel's first homicide scene where the victims' bodies were dismembered. Footprints have been crushed away by some apparent weight instrument. Coroner is assessing the number of DNA variations, trying to determine if any of these body parts found here and on the scarecrow victim belong to prior victims. Hey, Twitch is collecting all that data. So this brother from behind is like, hey detective, why don't you call it a night? Start up fresh tomorrow. You know, your brain's kind of funky right now. Even though it's not, but Twitch is just overworking himself to, you know, for the sake of the case. Let's get something to eat, man. You must be hungry. So they go eat, they have a conversation, and they just show Twitch their appreciation, man. Like, we're glad you're here. Twitch is like, okay, I appreciate that. So the lady tells Twitch, I Detective Relis, even though that's who you're talking to, he's not a poe, he speaks for all of us, but you mind if we pick your brain for a second? And Twitch is like, fire away. You think there's any evidence or any chance the killer is gonna stop on his own? No, I don't, says Twitch. In fact, I think it'll get worse. And the only upside of that is he'll eventually make a mistake. They always do. Our job is to make sure that when he does, under no circumstance does he get a chance to make a second mistake. So we go back to this bar. Remember that lady from issue number 3, the one who lost her police husband, her police boyfriend? Well, she's definitely sauced up right now, and the bartender's like, yo, all this protecting a survey and you complaining about you losing your husband and the police ain't doing nothing, you gotta go, maybe. You're too drunk. Fine, your whiskey tastes like piss, forget you anyway and the police. She goes outside, lets out a little bit of lick of courage right now because she had so much of it. So a hand goes to her face and asks her, do you need a hand, miss? So he gives her a ride to her house and she tells him this is a house and she invites him in. Or actually, no, she doesn't invite him in. He asks, can I come in? And she tells him, I'll be disappointed if you didn't, my shining knight in armor. I'll get us a drink. So he tells her, you're pretty sexy. She's like, I know. He caresses her. Yeah, bro, it's thirsty in more ways than one. That's it, babe. Shh, don't want to wake up your old man over there. And she opens her eyes and she sees that brother in the shadows, and that is a creepy image right now. But we get a closer look up and you got to assume that's her boyfriend that she's finally found. He didn't flee to Kentucky. He's right there wearing a sign that says no more hiding. And all she could do is let out a loud scream as we conclude in the body count rises and a killer's twisted puzzle that we have yet to know and yet to discover on Sam and Twitch Case Files issue number 4. Now, Sam has only been in this series in the first issue and then the second issue by phone calls and missed phone calls, but we could use some Sam right about now. Hopefully, we get some of that. But previously in Sam and Twitch, even though there's no Sam after issue number 1, At least not yet, by the way. Twitch gets pulled in to help on a murder case, but as clues unfold, he may be the next victim. So we start this issue off at a press conference with the mayor and all these detectives talking about that they had a drug bust last week or a couple days ago and everything was successful. We had to fire back because we had to keep the town safe with these drug dealers, and everything was done by the book because we're a bunch of God-fearing people and good old folks in this town. And as the panel right here gets a little bit more grainy, because to give the illusion or the allure that somebody is watching this on TV, and this mayor is just giving praises over here. So Detective Trestle has to come up to the podium and does his speech, talk about, yeah, the meth lab, we were met with immediate fire, so our boys had to fire back because that's what we do. Oh, well, he didn't bark like that, but it just gets the feeling that someone's watching and he's not happy as to what he's seeing, because now Trestle's talking about, we don't know who the bigger perp is, and we did everything by the book. And when we saw in the previous issue, they clearly did not do anything by the book. It's just something odd about this town, and Twitch is in the middle of it. So the person who's watching it is just looking at Jim Trestle on screen like, you are a freaking liar, Plainfield, and you made me into a killer. So he grabs his keys, walks out, goes into the van. That's the same van, by the way, that took that homeless guy down to Indianapolis, I believe, or something like that. But anyways, it's just a lot of pieces of this crime mystery comic coming together in the Spawn universe. So this guy keeps saying, no good deed, Detective Lansky, no good deed. And Detective Lansky is that brother he's digging up. And remember that girl Bobby, his girlfriend, that was harassing Twitch, that her boyfriend Lansky is missing? Well, that is the brother right there that he dug up. So we go into this flashback weeks earlier, and you see Lansky here running off. Remember that opening scene right here? Remember that? The full moon, shoes on the mud puddle right there or whatnot, and just running away in a panic? Yeah, that's a flashback to issue number 1. So now we go back and all this is coming together. So when he goes into this abandoned farmhouse, Detective Lansky is huffing a puffy, and this guy in the shadows that we revisit from issue number 1 is like, yo man, did you follow the plan? He's like, yeah, I followed the plan. Then why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running? Anyways, I was just thinking about that meme right there.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Oh, and so Detective Lansky is like, I couldn't get away from the den. They're getting pretty paranoid with the new batch of their cooking. And this guy in the shadows like, you always got an excuse, Lansky. And that reveal is Jim Trestle right there, and he's pissed. It's a pretty big reveal right there, and it's like, damn, Jim, you involved in all this. So Jim asked Lansky, you're high, aren't you? A little, that's all, but I'm undercover, so I had to blend in. You always got a freaking excuse. And after going back and forth, Lansky is like, man, I'm doing my job. And Jim is like, okay, look, a little becomes a habit becomes a problem. Are you a problem, Lansky? Well, look, I'm just doing my job. What can I tell you? He's like, yeah, maybe a little too good. So if that's what you call it, then I'm gonna call this doing my job too. Pulls out a gun and just shoots him point blank in the head like, son, that's it. Who else saw that? Who else could witness that besides us as the readers? So now we go back to the previous issue where Twitch and the Chief are talking about, where Twitch made a very bold statement like, this killer is going to make a mistake eventually, and when he does, I'm going to be there to catch him. And the Chief is all like, yeah, that's why we became cops, you know? That's why. So we're going to redouble our efforts. What do you say? Toby goes up to the Chief, is like, we got a problem here. Take this. And Twitch is over here like, okay, what kind of problem we talking about? Is this pertaining to the case? It doesn't look too good. So Jim is like, yeah, now we tie it back to the previous issue where Detective Lansky was in that chair talking about no good deed at the end of that previous issue where his ex-girlfriend was hooking up with that dude. So Jim is like, we got a freaking problem. Another body found. But the worst thing is, it's Lansky. Someone's trying to make this shit freaking personal, alright? So what do you want to do, says the Chief. And Jim is like, I want to handle this quickly. Do you need cover, he asked. And Jim looks back, and you could tell by that look like, yeah, we need cover because he's got to do something and it's not too good. So Twitch goes up like, yo, I don't mean to pry, but is this news on our case? Because I was about to head out, but if that's any update with the case, yo, I'm here. Let's do this. And the Chief is like, no, it's something else, but give me a minute, all right? Twitch is like, okay, take your time. So the chief is like, there's that press conference the mayor called about. So Toby and I have got this. I'll call you later. So the chief goes up to Twitch and just randomly is like, man, sorry about all this, Twitch. I didn't want to leave you until I told you how much I personally appreciate your presence here under these conditions. You're one of the good ones. Give me a hug, bro. And Twitch is like, I mean, just the look on Twitch's face is like, a hug? That kind of came out of nowhere. So they go back to Detective Lansky's body right there. No more hiding. No good deed goes unpunished right here. No more hiding. So Jim tells the couple Detective Relis is coming. He's going to ask you a few questions. I want you to walk around, see if there's anything unusual. And Lansky's ex-girlfriend's like, okay, but everything looks normal. There was no forced entry. I mean, how can we feel safe being up in our house like that if the guy didn't even have locks or pick the locks? There's no signs of forced entry here. So the chief goes up and you see this eerie looking brother like something's about to go down. Now, before I go any further, this video is sponsored by coffee, as nasty as we're about to get with this video. So if you'd like to buy a boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. With all that being said, let's get back into the content. And even though Lansky's ex-girlfriend's like, I knew Bobby didn't leave town like that, he didn't deserve this. So Jim is like, okay, you're right. Whoever did this to Bobby, Detective Lansky, we're gonna figure it out. And I promise you that. So the guy who's the one night stand's like, what about me? I just met her tonight. And Toby's like, we're all clear up here. So they know something eerie is about to happen because this guy is asking seriously what the hell is going on down here. And Jim Tressel's like, okay, it's gonna be a murder and a suicide. Murks him, ends him. Now they gotta clean up the mess to make it look like it was a murder and a suicide to go along with Detective Lansky's body. So when Twitch gets back to his motel, he takes off his watch, his wallet, and his holster that just happens to be empty. And Twitch is like, what the heck is that? It makes no sense. How could this have happened? So he thinks about it and he goes back to that hug that the chief gave him at the restaurant. And Twitch knows he's in trouble. So he makes a phone call and he asks for help because he knows he's in trouble as Twitch races to solve the case before he's next. Alrighty then, what you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. So previously in Sam and Twitch, after a meeting at the diner that Twitch has, he realizes that he's been set up to take the fall, but there's only one thing that he can do. So before we go forward, we got to go back like chiropractic over here. So we see Sam finally, a few issues later that we finally need to see, he's playing the words that were played back that he's been received so harshly. Like he doesn't give a damn about his partner, that people are tired of his selfishness. Look, you want to remain a police force and act like an adult, act like a detective instead of some hothead. So he's replaying all that in his head that was said to him, and he's obsessed, loner, loser, horrible diet, takes a deuce and the Mets lose. It's just all playing back in his head. But you know what? It's almost like that is a point of character growth for him, or at least it's going to pivot to that. That's the impression that I'm getting here. So in Plainfield, Iowa, Twitch is sitting in his hotel looking to see how in the heck did it happen that his gun got lifted. And he realized the hug that the chief of police gave him, he lifted it, and Twitch realizes it. Detective Relis gives him a call, and Twitch just looks at the phone, and you know something's about to go down. And this panel right here where Twitch is in the hotel room just overlooking in his head, thinking in his head, what's the next play over here after Detective Relis calls him? You know there's some foreshadowing that he's got to wait for the shoe to drop or something. So his hotel phone rings, he answers it, and it's Detective Tressel, and he tells him we have another situation that we can use you at the scene, and this is going back to issue number 5. So Twitch gets there, he asks where Jim is at, and Tressel tells him he's in the basement, but you need to take a look at the den first. What happened? We don't know yet. He sees Lansky's dead body with the note, I'm sorry, but the note was different before, but we'll get back to that. And Twitch is like, I saw a picture of this guy. Isn't he one of yours? Yeah, he's Officer Lansky. I thought he moved away, says Twitch. So did we, but something went wrong with him. You think he killed himself, said Twitch. He's going into detective mode. I don't freaking know. This is all crazy. But there's more you need to see, says Detective Tressel. He goes downstairs into the basement. We see Officer Lansky's girlfriend and her plaything. But they can't be doing no more playing like that, and they ain't playing dead. They're dead for real. So Twitch is like, I don't know who they are. Who are they? The female was Lansky's girlfriend. Don't know about the male. You knew Lansky, says Twitch. You think he could do this? Killed them both, then himself? Upstairs, someone enters the room. We're gonna go back to that. And Tressel's like, he's not the man I knew. He was kind, happy, but not near the end. Before he quit, he seemed frustrated at something or someone, says Twitch. And we see this really suspicious looking glove over here. We don't know what that's all about, but we're gonna find that out hopefully. So Twitch is like, look, I'm not here trying to say this is her fault, but Lansky's girlfriend here, she was pretty well known, and not in a good way. She was always drunk and ranting about some crazy conspiracy or some shit like that. I think that's why Lansky left, to get away from her. Then why would he come back, says Detective Tressel. Maybe she was hassling, blackmailing him, I don't know, I'll check the phone records. Didn't she file some kind of police report about him in the past, says Twitch? She did, but like I said, she was always paranoid about something. And Twitch has a flashback with Lansky's girlfriend going back a few issues back. He disappeared, gone, and no one wants to do a damn thing about it, especially his own unit. And we see footprints and another guy walking in. And then Twitch is like, okay, let me put this together. Something doesn't seem right though. His hand, it's severed, like the body's out in the farm. Does that strike you as odd? And if he was left-handed, it'd be too hard to shoot and write with no hand. Even if he wasn't. No good deed. And Twitch goes into it even further. This doesn't explain the dirt on his body or decomposition. And if Lansky was moved here by the same killer, why would he then start shooting his victims? He hadn't done that before. And why the fuck aren't you asking these questions unless you don't want to know the answers? This is where it's all messed up. And where the heck is my gun? Something corrupt is going on here, and you are all under arrest. And I am not bull-jiving. And Detective Tressel claps and it's like, bravo. It's a weird kind of like change up. Like, what are they doing over here? Are they setting him up? Do they need him for something? Or they just want to take Twitch out the picture? So Detective Tressel's like, look, you're from New York, so you know how this works. Sometimes it's better that the public doesn't know things. And Twitch is like, look, I don't work that way. That's too bad, Twitch, because we're hoping that you'll be part of the team, hoping that you'll help us clean up our city. Isn't that what we all want? He's right, says the chief. This whole serial killer thing has gotten everyone on edge. So how did Lansky get in here before we even knew a damn thing? But if this city thinks on any level some cop is running around killing folks, then that ruins all the hard work that everyone put into this. Twitch knows that. But the other people are like, doesn't that mean he deserved what happened to him? No, it does not. But we all got a real sick bastard and a serial killer on our hands, and we need to find him. Where's my gun, says Twitch. Relax. It's right here. It was easy to lift. You're not as good as you think. Letting Twitch know that he wasn't exactly paying attention. So they give Twitch his gun back, and Detective Relis is like, hey, sorry about that, but my boys can be a bit overzealous at times. Let's just see if we can all sort this thing out. So they wonder if Detective Relis can convince Twitch to help him out. And they hope so, because they got something in their back pocket to do that. So Tressel's like, we all want the same damn thing here, Twitch, to protect this town as much as we can. And at what cost, says Twitch? We don't get to play God around here. We follow rules, especially when there's 3 fresh bodies you're not supposed to. Wait a minute, hold up. Someone was here. Twitch sees the footprints. Someone's in this house. Who the heck are you talking about? The last note on Lansky's chest? Look at it. And it's changed from I'm sorry to no good deed. The killer, he was here, and he still may be in here. So Jim Tressel's like, Tobias, Relis, get up here now, sweep outside, do your thing. We got a killer, and we got a killer on property here. So Twitch is like, all this, and why'd you need me? And Tressel's like, you know why, because you're brilliant, and I don't have someone like you on my staff, and I wish to God that I did. So even though they got a killer on the land right now, on premise, now you guys want to have a buddy moment, but it is very tense right now, very odd. We don't know what's happening. I mean, you got a killer on property, Twitch is over here getting framed, and these guys need his help, but they have a very funny way of asking it. So Jim Tressel's like, if you really want to know the truth, I'm exhausted. I'm giving everything to protect this community, but instead of making it more peaceful or safer, I have to deal with all this crazy stuff, man. So yes, I need your help and I need your brains. And Twitch is like, I wish I could believe that, but I can't. Oh, sorry to hear that, says Jim. Ping, a text message comes through, and it's Twitch's wife. She's pissed. Like, this is what I get, putting your family on the back burner all these years. F you. And what about Sam? So Twitch is dealing with the mess right now, and Twitch is wondering, what did you do? And Jim Tressel's like, I'm sorry, but I did what I had to do. And he shows that compromising photo of Twitch and Lansky's girlfriend. Cullen got a couple issues where all she did was give him a hug, but this looks like a very compromising position. Especially with no context, the missus ain't gonna be happy about that. And even though it is just weird, but I mean, you do get a sense of danger, you do get a sense of this brother being compromised, and also, Twitch wasn't gonna help because all this messed up stuff was happening now. But now that he's caught in a compromising position, he can't exactly go home. So how is all this gonna play out, and where does Sam fall into the picture of all this? But with all that being said, that is the end of Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue number 6. Previously in Sam and Twitch, Twitch discovers how deep the conspiracy goes, and we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes either, and he's forced to help those that seek to blackmail him. Now, last issue, Trestle and the gang, they need Twitch's help trying to find this killer. They don't know what this killer is about, and the killer was in that house too, and he went in that house undetected. But they use blackmail, showing not even a compromising picture to, they sent that text message to his wife, thinking that it'll help Twitch, or at least incentivize Twitch to help him, but it's pissing Twitch off, and he's probably calling his wife right now to try to straighten things out because that woman was a dead man's wife, and Twitch is just consoling her on a case, but it's just getting all messed up over here. So Twitch is mad, like, pick up your phone, and the boys are like, he doesn't seem too happy, and Twitch turns around like, you got something to say, Tobias? And Jim Trestle, Twitch's friend, helping blackmail Twitch into helping solve this case, is like, guys, it's all just relax. And Twitch is like, you know what, forget you, decks him, see these hands, knocks him out, and Twitch tells him, this con game you're playing, you better watch yourself, Twitch, says Jim Trestle. You got that backwards, says Twitch. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, and I promise I'm gonna find out, you've just shit away your career. Why? You've got 10 dead bodies, 10, but for some twisted freaking reason, you're gonna blackmail me to my wife over my dead body. Given the context of the story here, that's pretty poetic in my opinion. And Jim is like, you're so far off, Twitch. We want the bastard who did this just as much as you do, but we need to flesh him out. You see, you're the new guy, we can use you as bait, and he's trying to impress you. Twitch is like, that makes no damn sense. What's the evidence for that? Well, the thing is, says Jim, your emotions just damaged the best prints we had, those footprints. Now they're useless. We could have seen what kind of shoes he was wearing and do all that investigation and pinpoint where he bought those shoes at. So Twitch is like, okay, you say that, but none of this explains taking my gun or texting my wife, because nothing else was working, says Jim. We needed another angle. Forget it. You wouldn't understand. Typical gaslighting, right? You wouldn't understand, so let's not even talk about it. Oh no, says Twitch. You don't get to gaslight me. You're gonna talk to your boy. Actually, they're not even boys right now because it's kind of, the room is full of tension. Because at any point they can kill him, but they need him, and you don't know where the hell this is gonna go. And Jim is like, you want to know what's going on? Fine, I'll tell you, but I hope you got the stomach for it. You think we're bad guys? Maybe you're right. But Lansky, that girl's boyfriend, he was the most brutal. And Twitch is like, brutal to who? Anyone we didn't think belonged, not in our city. And before you judge, just listen. We saw a surge of violence and crime, so we decided to do something about it when the courts wouldn't. Did we get physical with many of them? Yes, we did. Especially Lansky. Someone must have been watching him though, because he started to get threatening messages. And the chief is like, yeah, Jim's right. And some of those messages said they'd return the same pain Lansky delivered every time he did something. And the copycat did it, says Jim. But he kept going till he began to kill, says the chief of police. We went after assholes, but the killer, he took it out on innocents. Even after we decided to pull back on our activities, this cycle kept going, which means some of this may be a direct result of what our good intentions were. So as you might imagine, Twitch, we can't play this by the book, and Twitch is over here analyzing the bullshit. Is it really bull jive though? And they're asking her, you're being awfully quiet, and Twitch is like, I'm just thinking. And what are you thinking about? Twitch is like, something's not right, bro. Well, what's your alternative? That we know the killer or we are the killers? Don't get that paranoid, Twitch. And Twitch is thinking Lansky being killed by Jim Trestle, and Twitch is like, but the killer was here because this note wasn't here when we arrived. He wrote it. You know why? Lansky used to wear a t-shirt all the time, and guess what it said? No good deed. He's been watching us. Now he's messing with us and you. He knows you're new and he wants you at our throats. And how is that supposed to impress me, says Twitch. And how is that supposed to impress himself? And Jim is like, you just don't see it. If the killer can reverse things, make us the bad guys, and get you to blow this whole thing open, then he'll have copied everything by becoming a detective himself. He does that, then as you told us, Twitch, he'll never stop. And we'll see the real killer, the actual killer, in his minivan, or his killer van, go into the house with 3 dead bodies in the back. And as he's going in and unloading them, I gotta take this time to say, hey man, as we go through these panels, this video is sponsored by coffee. So if you'd like to buy a boy a cup of coffee, link in description or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this YouTube channel. Now let's get back into the content. Now, the killer goes back to the van and gets the hacksaw, and I don't know what this can is about. Is it something to make the sawing that much easier? He opens up the bag, and I don't recognize that face at all. And it's kind of eerie because at least it ain't making eye contact with me or you, because it is kind of creepy. So they go back to the house, and they're asking Jim to note what's on the back. And Jim recognizes the farmhouse, and he's just putting his hand over his face like, bro, this ain't good. It's the old farmhouse. So they realize that they have to go, and they have to go now. And Twitch is like, yeah, you guys are on your own. I don't want any part of this. And Tobias is like, boss, what are you going to do? And Jim is like, I'm not asking you, Twitch. Not anymore. That madman killed our partner. Now you're part of this. So you're coming. This is just a weird way of asking for help because it's desperate. Tensions are high. And like I said, you get the feeling, as proof right here that they're holding Twitch at gunpoint, that he didn't want to go. They can kill Twitch at any point. But they also know that Twitch can blow this whole case over at any point. So they got to get on the move. So they get to the farmhouse and Twitch is like, okay, so tell me, the killer, is he your partner too? And the chief of police is like, Twitch, I had enough of you, man, just shut up. So they go into the house, and I'm not even sure I can show this on YouTube, but I'm just gonna show real quick. Bodies like that, yeah, I'm done. Okay, so they want to give Twitch his gun right now as we see the hacksaw and the canister that I don't know what the heck that is, but I believe it has to be something that allows him to, like some kind of hacksaw lube in a spray. I don't know. Forgive your boy. If you guys know in the comment section, you comment below, let me know. So they go into the house. It's empty, but they have to give Twitch his gun back. Even though his gun has no bullets in it, he has to look the part. All these bodies, all this tension, all this eeriness, and even Twitch comes to the conclusion he's toying with us because where are their heads? We see limbs, we see legs, we see backs, but we see no heads. But head number one is at Jim Tressel's residence right there. And I think that was one of the old cops on the force. Head number two is at Tobias' residence. I don't recognize that head. Sorry, we're talking about a lot of head here. And then head number three, I believe that has to be the chief of police's home because the lion at the door right there, I don't know, lions kind of have this power thing or this positional thing or something. But now at Twitch's hotel, the killer is there and he goes in dropping off another head. But he looks at Twitch's work and how he's gathering evidence and the profile that he's doing on the killer, like severed missing limbs, not ritual, possible distraction. And he's like, okay, this guy is quite thorough. So he's looking at all the forensic reports and he's realizing, okay, this guy is getting close, or maybe this guy is onto something that he didn't think he'll be onto. But there's a knock on the door, and guess who it is? Right there is Sam. He drives all the way uptown to see Twitch like he misses him. And he does, but he wants to make peace. But on the other side of that is the killer. And that is the end of Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue number 7. So previously in Sam and Twitch, with the plan fully revealed to Twitch, he realizes his chances for escape is going down by the minute. So Twitch and the chief of police and the other comrades are at the empty farmhouse. And this is the killer's farmhouse with all these bodies and corpses hanging, and they're still trying to piece this murder mystery together. Why is this killer killing, and why is he doing what he's doing, and who is he? But yet Twitch is in a compromising position because the tension is filled high. They can literally end his life if he doesn't agree to help. But Twitch doesn't like the way they're going about it, but they need Twitch because Twitch can crack the code on this case. So they wonder what their next move is. And Twitch is like, yeah, I'm curious about that, Jim. What is your next move? You've got innocent people caught up in your mess. This has gotten away from everyone. And Jim is like, well, we'd like to clean up our own messes in Indiana, not pass them off. So my concern is only where the killer will go. If not here, then where would he be? And Twitch is like, you need to call this in. Whatever you're thinking, you're not getting away with it. You know that. People are dying. And Jim Trust is like, Twitch, relax, all right? And the chief of police is like, what are you doing? This guy is just pussyfooting around. You said he would help us. He's not going to help us. We're in the middle of this storm. We've given him 2 chances to jump on board, and he's a freaking outsider. We told you not to bring him in. And Twitch is like, you're right. So what are you going to do? Get rid of me? Get rid of these bodies? But you still got a killer to deal with. And he wanted us to get distracted. He wanted us here. Why? So they're all in silence thinking about why are they in this pickle? Why are they in this predicament? And Twitch comes to the conclusion, he's setting you up. Don't you see that? And Jim's like, man, like how can I let this brother just get one up on me? So we got to go back to the motel. This is exactly where we end off in the previous issue, where Sam finally comes to see Twitch at his motel, but the killer's inside because the killer is scoping out Twitch. So Sam knocks, opens the door, and it's the killer like, hello, can I help you? And Sam is like, I'm looking for someone. I thought this was his room. And the killer's like, well, I'm the electrician. I was fixing the AC problem, but I'm done now. And Sam's like, you fixing the problem at 5 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, man, they got me working these crazy shifts. You know, they want stuff done before the guests wake up. So Sam's like, okay, whatever, man. What about the guy that was staying in his room? Twitch. That's what he's talking about. And the killer's like, you mean the skinny man with glasses? He said he was heading to the McGinty house. And Sam has no idea where that's at. So the killer offers him to like, okay, well, it's kind of tricky to get there. I've got a van. I can show you where it's at. Why don't you just follow me? So Sam follows the killer in the van, not knowing that he's a killer. So the chief of police is all up on Jim Tressel. Like, you said we could trust Twitch and we can't. This is bull jive. You conned us, Twitch. And Twitch is like, conned you? Bro, you're delusional. And the chief of police is such in high stress right now because the killer is doing that to him because they can't crack the code in this case. So chief of police is acting irrational, takes out his gun, points it at Twitch, and Twitch is like, okay, anytime this brother can pull the trigger, so what I'm gonna need you to do is I need you to take it easy. And the chief of police is like, don't you ever freaking tell me what to do, man. And Jim is like, then I'll tell you what to do. Put your gun down. We don't need this right now. Why are you taking his side, Jim? No, says Jim to the chief of police, but you're complicating things if you don't simmer down. Things are already complicated. Just put the gun down. This isn't the time to let emotions get in the way. Well, your method hasn't done us any good, all right? And Jim Trust's like, yeah, my method hasn't done any good. Point well taken. So he eliminates the problem. This is just, like I said, anyone can go at any given time, and this comic is kind of turning into a crazy shit show, if you will. So his partner's like, what'd you do? And Jim Trust's like, I'm fixing all of this, and Twitch sees daylight and he needs to scram. So Jim Tressel and his comrade duke it out, and guess what? The partner gets a better side of Twitch, blasts him, and puts him off him. Now he points the gun at Twitch, and Twitch needs to run for daylight, literally. So the killer and Sam get to the cornfield, and Sam's like, why are we stopping? And the killer is like, the farm's about a half a mile further down the road, but I need to head back into town, all right? So gunshots from a distance, and the killer's like, you hear that? And Sam is like, man, something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. So this brother chases Twitch out into the fields. Jim is kind of waking up in pain and he needs to do something. Twitch doesn't know what to do. He's in the middle of nowhere, literally. Empty clip, so he gets shot at. He has to run. Brother is like, come out, wherever you are, Twitch. You've got nowhere to go. So Twitch figures he could create a diversion, throws the gun off screen to kind of give him a little diversion and buy him some time to plan this out strategically. But it's a nice trick, and it didn't work because the brother knows about it, and the brother's like, I know all the tricks in the playbook, bro. I got you. We wanted our town to be clean, and you were supposed to help us out, and you didn't do that. But what you guys can do is like and subscribe if you like the content of this video so far. And also, hey man, I do these videos early in the morning, so if you'd like to buy a boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. But with all that being said, let's get right back into the content. So this brother gets shot just like that, and it's Jim Tressel that does all that. And Jim Tressel tells Twitch, we were only protecting our town and our families, but you're too blind to see the good that we're doing. And Twitch is like, Jim, don't do that. And Sam's like, you better eat these fists right there. Go to hell. Sam comes to the rescue, and if this played out in a live action movie right now, it's kind of like when the moment where Captain America lifts up Thor's Mjolnir for the first time in Avengers Endgame. Remember that, seeing that in the theater with that reaction? I could see somewhat of that kind of reaction right now. But anyways, obviously Sam and Twitch needs a fan base for that. But Twitch tells Sam that's not enough. We're not like them. Sorry, I didn't let you know it was coming. He don't give a damn about all that. Sam is going to do what Sam is going to do. And Twitch is like, well, I'm glad you did, but right now Jim needs medical attention and there's no cell phone service out here, so we need to walk him out. And Sam's like, don't worry, bruh. I got your back. And Jim's like, what about the killer? I think I might know. And before he can finish that sentence, Jim Tressel gets ended right now. And the killer's like, okay, look, I know it's over and I'm coming out, so hold your fire. And the killer looks at Sam like, why do you look surprised, detective? Why? I didn't start this, they did. And God told me to show them the sins of their ways. If they hurt others, I hurt others. If they killed, I killed. My mission was clear. My Lord made it clear. Okay, clear, this guy is delusional. An eye for an eye. Do you understand what that means? The sacrifices I've made to complete my mission. The sleepless nights when the devil voice screams in my head trying to convert me to get me to stop God's mission. And Twitch is like, the people you hurt were God's children. They were innocent. In other words, I think Twitch is trying to tell the brother, don't do the wrath of God. Let God do the justice. You sit back and let God do God. And the killer's like, none of us are innocent, man. And those of us who are humble enough to admit that shall be given our just rewards, a place for all eternity at the sight of the Almighty. You know why? Because no good deed, and he points the gun at his temple, will go unseen. And he ends himself in dramatic fashion. Just like in dramatic fashion, the end of this story arc of Sam and Twitch is they both decide how to go from here, and they both decide they do want to go home from here after reuniting with each other after so many issues. I don't know why the ending of this issue feels, I don't know if it's rushed or just like it's missing something. It didn't feel like the fitting ending. The potential in the first few issues, it was really great. I didn't know where to go. The intrigue, the allure, the mystery, the savagery. But to end it like this, I don't know. I felt like it felt flat. That's just my thinking, my opinion. But what do you guys think below? Comment below. Let me know. And with all that being said, if you like the content we're throwing up, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Until the next upload.